In learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. Phil Collins, English drummer and singer. We know through various episodes of Master Talk that it's important to understand the right tools on how to master communication and public speaking. What I'm going to do in this week's episode of Master Talk is help you teach public speaking to somebody else. So I'm going to go behind the curtains so you can see exactly what I do with clients. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing amazing. Brennan from Master Talk here, your go-to channel to mastering your talk. And today we're covering the 3 main techniques that you should have as a speech coach to be extremely effective. So let's get into it. Number 1, seeing the beauty in other people's stories. Your job as a speech coach is very simple, whether you're coaching it professionally or just to your friends and family. It's to dive into the stories of the people you admire and the people you're helping and try and mold that story in a way that's more exciting and that everyone understands it. And the benefit of having a third-party view on things is if you understand the story as a speech coach perfectly, it means the story is very well told. But on the other hand, if you don't really understand what the person is talking about, what they're passionate about, then you could say, let's try a different approach. Let's try this way. I'll give you a quick example. So one of my clients is a CEO of a makeup company. And what she does is she's created a technology that enables women to essentially get their makeup done in 5 minutes instead of half an hour. So you know how girls and women in the morning, they get ready and it takes time. Well, this technology actually gets all their makeup on their face in like 5 minutes. So it's very effective. And as she was giving the presentation, and I was looking at, the way that she was explaining the product and the service and all those different aspects of what she was selling, I sat her down and I said, what do you think the main benefit of this product is? And she looked at me and she said, well, people would save money because women wouldn't have to get, the makeup done, and they would also save time. And I said, is that it? She said, well, what else is there? Then I looked at her and I said, how do you think that time will be reinvested? Think about the Millennial Mom. She has kids running around, she has technology, she has all of these commitments with her day job and all this stuff. Imagine how this product will change her life. So notice what I'm doing here. I'm choosing to see the beauty in somebody else's story, even if I have nothing to do with it. Millennial moms, makeup, something that's for women. That has nothing to do with me. I don't do any of those things. But as a speech coach, my job and responsibility is to dive into the story of someone else and pretend as if it's mine. So whenever you're listening to one of your friends or one of the people that you're coaching, I don't want you to just look at their ums and ahs and all that stuff. I want you to imagine yourself telling the story yourself and what better ways you can help your client brainstorm a way to make their idea feel like magic. Number 2, audience obsessiveness. The greatest speakers in the world can understand their audience at a level almost nobody can. And the beauty of being a coach is it's much easier for you to evaluate somebody else's presentation than your own. One of my clients works for a nursing company, so she helps staffing to get nurses placed into different hospitals. And as she was explaining her presentation to me, I would always ask her back, how would the nurse feel about this? She speaks a lot to nurses across the country, whether it's at university or different town halls. So whenever she says something, whenever she gives a point, I always ask her back, how would the nurse react in this situation? She would start to brainstorm with me. Oh, well, nurses have very long shifts. They're very tired. So I probably want to use less words in my presentation. I say, bingo, exactly. But I always push that even more with the clients that I work with because I want them to not just understand who their audience is, nurse between the ages of X and Z, but also the psychographics. How do they feel? What do they want to achieve in life? And what's stopping them from achieving that vision? Good example with my own presentations and keynotes is when I compare 10-year-old Rebecca with 55-year-old executive Tim. When I really understand Rebecca at a fundamental level, I see it more as a duty and a responsibility. Because her mission in life, her way of being, is she wants to make a difference in the world, but she doesn't think she can be a good speaker. So if I don't change that paradigm, if I don't convince her that, hey, Rebecca, you can totally do this, then no other person in her life will do that. And at the opposite end of the spectrum, if Tim is looking to win a $100 million deal for his client and isn't really feeling confident in his presentation skills, he relies on someone like me to say, hey, Tim, you got this, you have a great presentation. You just need to refine these specific elements to get your audience excited about your ideas. So as you're coaching people, really dive into the details of their audience and nitpick all of those little granular elements. Number 3, replaying. This is probably one of the most hardest techniques in public speaking, but if you can master it, you can pretty much coach anybody. So a replay is basically when you look at somebody's presentation, you give them feedback on it, but then you redo it for them. So let's say somebody is talking about a subject. I believe in this idea that we should do things for the rest of the world. And I look at that and I look at the person and I say, why don't we try saying the exact same thing with low vocal tone variation? So instead of saying that theoretically, I would actually practice with her. So I'd say, imagine a world where everything that you wanted would come true. I know it's just similar to the previous example. The idea is I'm replaying with the client. I'm actually showing them what the potential, what the possibility is as a speech coach and what you can do as a speaker. So if you're able to show that, even if you're just a beginner yourself, as you're coaching other people, your friends, your family, your accountability partners, you will also start to believe that you're an excellent speaker. Because remember, what we teach is the best way to actually learn that thing. So learn fast by teaching others. The point of this video is very simple. Just because you're not a speech coach doesn't mean you can't leverage these techniques to help the people around you master communication and public speaking. Because at the end of the day, the biggest challenge of public speaking has nothing to do with the tips and nothing to do with the techniques, but rather somebody who says, I believe in your message and we need to share it with the world. And I hope each and every single one of you will be that person for someone else. As always, if you enjoyed this week's tip, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well to see more videos like this. And if you know someone that needs a bit more accountability, a bit more of a push, and some help in coaching other people, be sure to send them this video so that they'll be one step closer to being the mentor that the world is waiting for them.